Today we're going to be talking about the genocide of the Uyghurs by the Chinese. We're also going to be talking about the power of clean comedy. I'm Joe.
I'm Josh.
You've got questions?
You're feeling grounded. Dun, 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 dun.
Woo, swooping animatic thing. The mountains are truly beautiful, I will say.
Welcome to Feeling Grounded with your hosts, Josh and Joe.
I get a little bit of vertigo. Yeah, a little bit of vertigo every time I see that.
Did we go there? Maybe.
Oh, whoa. Did you just like fall off the cliff then as you were viewing it? Maybe some of those old squirrel suits?
We went off the fiscal cliff.
Hang gliding.
Oh my goodness. I'm imagining this like tandem hang glider with just the two of you. Just, like, grabbing on.
We both have one hand on the
Josh,
camera.
hold on to the camera!
She's like, did you get it? Did you get it?
Wow, look how that turned out.
Yeah,
I know, right?
It's good footage.
Okay.
We go again.
All right, so
Our first guest on Feeling Grounded podcast, have no reproach because this guy's a swim coach. Our first guest is Zack.
Wow, yes, Zack, undisclosed last name. Joe, first of all, nice drop with the Rottens there. That was some on your
what was that?
feet thinking. Reproach and coach and man.
Well,
Okay.
how are we doing, guys? How's everyone doing?
I mean, I am super pumped to be here. I am honored to be the first guest on this show. I'm a little nervous too. It's either going to be I'm going to set such a high standard that no one will ever compare to this, or it's going to be so bad that everyone's going to look great. So after me.
Well, either way, you're going to leave a mark. So you're going to leave a mark.
That's the key. I am once again one of you guys' biggest fans. I've watched
Josh.
all six episodes now. Yeah,
yep.
every week. Yeah. So super pumped to be on it. I'm gonna be watching myself. That's kind of weird. So I'll be like, oh, look at me. I was so happy then on Saturday when this was recorded. hello, future self. Hello.
do you make weird looks of yourself or something like that you kind of look back to? You're like, oh, I didn't sound very good then.
Oh, I'm just like everyone. I'm my harshest critic. I'm gonna look back at this and be like, man, that was dumb. Not the show. Zack, just cut that guy out. Edit that guy out. Oh man, yeah. I mean, I've done video work a lot. I mean, I was in communications when I was in school. We did videography, TV work, and all that stuff. And I mean, I don't care about being on camera, but I'm still like, every time I see myself, I'm like, oh, do I really sound like that? Everyone, I'm sure, is always like that.
Yeah, I remember the first time I heard my voice outside of when I speak, and it was at like. Have you guys ever heard of like quiz leagues or like challenge teams? You guys have that in your high school?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did that in like 8th grade, and I was the captain actually, which is pretty interesting. And it was on like a radio, and it was like the first time I ever heard my voice, and I like cringed so hard at myself. My like 8th grade voice just being like, Beethoven's Ninth. I was just like, oh.
Oh my, yeah. Yeah, that's just especially at that age, you're like, your so voice horrible. Is like changing
your voice
and everything.
Sounds
it's like,
deeper in your head. Your voice, I heard, sounds deeper in your head, but like kind of higher when you're listening back to it.
Yeah. That's what it makes it really impressive when people do like impressions and things. It's like they actually sound like that, but how does but they must sound even different in their head? What talent!
What talent! Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Zack, I'm excited for you to be here today. You're going to do an awesome job, and it's going to be a great discussion.
I hope so.
I'm stoked.
If not, I apologize in advance.
We just will never talk to you again. But
oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll better make this one count then. Get it all in. Get it all. What's been happening? No, just.
It's time for Happy Crappy.
Let's start off with one by Zack. Start off with a happy or a crappy.
Up to you.
Ooh. Oh boy. Okay, I think I'll start with a happy, and I'm gonna sound a little bit like a suck up here, but I think a happy is the fact that I am on this show right now. I think that is a big happy.
Dude, we're honored. He is shilling for us. This is great.
Oh yeah. I want to be called back eventually.
The sequel.
But yeah, kind of building on that. I mean, like it kind of connects to this, but it's been like a really good week for me in terms of like reconnecting with people. I've been like, talk to some old coaches. I caught up with Joe earlier this week, and now I get to see Josh and catch up with him. And yeah, it's just been a really good week for, seeing people and talking with them and everything. So yeah, that's my happy.
Awesome.
Yeah. So cool. One of you want to take it now? I mean, or do you want me to go right into the crappy part?
Ooh.
We can jump. If you want to do your
Okay.
happy.
Sure. A couple days ago, I had friends from church. We were having a barbecue, and while I was there for quite a while, it was a good time. Finally having some good weather outside. It's getting lighter outside too, and it was the first time I tried picanha. You guys ever heard picanha before?
Picanha?
Absolutely not.
So yeah, it's quite popular, not in the United States, but in Brazil. So what it is,
pecans?
Picanha?
It's
that the American way to say it?
that's what my brain said.
But picanha is a type of meat. If ribeye to people is the best, this is like a very close second, at least to me too. So it's popular in Brazil, like I said before. It's not often found at like your local supermarket. It is available probably at a good butcher. The cut is at the top of the rump of the cow, but it might be called like a sirloin cap to some, rump cover, rump cap, something like that. It's like very triangular shaped. But it's not like an overused muscle, so it's very tender, really rich in flavor. I have leftovers in my fridge I had yesterday, and it was.
Can you send them this way?
Yeah.
Can you FedEx them, please?
Put them through the screen.
Can you Can you leave them in front of us, please?
While I'm cooking, you can hear like the guys. I'll send it to you right here.
So what
that
you're saying?
That will be an invention, I'm sure of it. We can just send it through Zoom.
It's like that Wonka Vision stuff.
There you go. Yeah.
I haven't seen the show yet.
What?
Wonka.
I said Wonka.
Wonka.
Oh, I thought you said. Oh, I thought you said WandaVision.
Oh.
Yeah. No. Yes. No spoilers here. If you haven't seen Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, then I don't know what to tell you.
It's been out for years.
Yeah. Both versions.
All right. So you're happy is you ate a cow's rump.
And I just want to clarify, this has absolutely nothing to do with pecans.
Thank you. I was like, pecan, yeah. Like that's what I thought.
I thought it was going to be a dessert or something.
I thought so too.
Perfectly honest.
Just our American mind, I guess, right?
Just like, oh my goodness, I want some picanha. It just sounds so tropical. I mean, not that, beef doesn't sound great. It does.
Yeah, that's the last thing I was picturing was meat,
Yes. I was thinking maybe even at the end there'd be some pecans on top of like
a dusting,
No.
Yeah, just with some of those nuts on top. Just nope. Nope. But if it made you happy, Joe, that's awesome.
Beautiful.
It wasn't just that, it was time with friends too, and they introduced me to the wonderful world of
picanha. Picanha.
All right, my turn. So my happy for the week, I finished my first week of classes. So I returned, Zach, I don't know if you knew this or not, but
I listened to the podcast, Josh. I know. That's right. Man, I did. Right. I was so excited for you. I was like while I was sitting in my car, I'm like, yeah, Josh. Yes.
Right. Nice. Sorry. So so it's one class a month. And so right now I'm in this class called digital literacy. And what it is learning how to use a computer. not even like software. It's like literally how to bookmark like a page, how to log into your computer, how to type on a keyboard. So it was pretty, yeah.
So out of you mentioned last week that you would have some of the basic courses covered by your previous education, and
I know. I guess that one doesn't count. Yeah, yeah. I was required to take this one, which was so frustrating because I was like, I've been bookmarking things since I was 4. Like,
could you imagine all of the classes that you have? It's going to be all basic classes except for the last class that you take. It's going to be complex stuff. That's what INC is going to happen.
I probably would drop out if that's the case.
Super musical string relativistic theory or something.
Yeah, right. After like taking basic arithmetic, like
if it's all online, Josh, describe like the demographics of the other people in your courses?
Oh, do you see them? Like, is it like a Zoom thing, or is it just like you log on and like take this like predetermined course thing? And
yeah, you just log on. So there are live classes, but they don't expect you to go to it. So basically, but then they like record it and throw it up on the web page and on like the channel, and then you watch it, do videos. Yeah, so you do get to see like the other people. And actually, the first assignment that we had was like you have to like post it, like the discussion post that they make you do sometimes just to like prove that you're there and present. So what the instructor wanted for us was to like just introduce yourself. So like everybody in the class introduce themselves. And yeah, there's a very wide range of individuals. I have to say that. And a lot of them, like I'm the 22-year-old entrepreneur type, or starting my own business and like blah, blah. And then you get like I'm like 19, I just graduated from high school and I don't know much about life. And then you get like the 30-year-old who has like 14 kids. And he's like, yeah, I'm just going back because I want to do my dreams. So there's a wide range of people, actually. I was pretty surprised.
Wow, that 30-year-old was really pumping out those kids.
There's a slight exaggeration there.
His real dream
like 4 sets of triplets.
Yeah.
His real dream is to be on 19 Kids and Counting. That's the real dream.
This guy, it's like the Duggars just put up a challenge. I must meet it.
Oh boy. So it's been good. It's been good. An easy week of classes. I'm expecting the rest of the 3 weeks of this class are going to be pretty simple. And then next month is final. It's like jumping into music technology, I think. So it's like starting to dive into some of the stuff I care about, which is cool.
That's awesome. I bet it's like the end of your school. It's like, oh, it's basic now, but then by the end, it's like, and now you're like super computer programming.
It's like coding. That'd be cool, right? Yeah. Then the last day is like how to build your own database. Like,
whoa.
Well, that escalated quickly.
Oh, it really got out of hand fast.
This is how you turn on your computer. to like advanced coding techniques, how to hack into the mainframe of
how to build your own gaming PC.
Oh, teacher, I still can't turn on my computer. Teacher, please help me.
It's not working.
Oh,
nice.
But that's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. I'm stoked.
Oh,
so crappy time.
Oh, Zack. Crappy time. Hashtag crappy time. All right. Okay. So, I mean, it's like, so crappy. Okay. So for various reasons, professional reasons, I've had to do a lot of writing this week. So just a lot of professional writing, just like coming up with like different things that I'm going to be vague about it. But like, so yeah, I've had to write actually for personal reasons too. I've had to like write personal things. I've had to write professional things. I've had to do a lot of writing this week, and I have just had the most serious writer's block for some unknown reason. I feel like I'm like that, video game character who's just like mindlessly walking against the wall, just like trying to just like, what's going on? And I'm like trying to like, I have what I want in my head, and my fingers just won't like. I just like type something out and I'm like, oh, that's crap. And there's like delete. And then I end up typing the exact same thing. And I'm like, it's the same thing. It's crap. Oh, just go.
Yeah.
But yeah, just so much. And I guess I'm burnt out with like all of the typing and the writing and all that stuff. But yeah, I've just had I kind of got over it by the end. Kind of figured out, but it's been like, I had to like write like a sort of letter like 2 days ago. And it literally took me the whole work day to get this thing done. I hope my boss isn't watching this. I'm sorry that I'm using all that time that's how productive I was. But it was quality. I think, by the end. So
I'm kind of that way too. If I have to like write like a professional email, I'll spend like hours doing it just to make sure that it doesn't sound horribly stupid or something.
Yeah. And I have to like have like, I'm like sending it to like 5 different people. I'm like, just like, oh, just, I know it's crappy. Just read it. And they're like, it's fine, Zach. Just shut up and stop being your own worst critic. And I'm like, oh, fine. But it's bad. I mean, that, and then another minor crappy is that I'm not sure what it's like where you guys are, like Connect or in your different living spaces. But in where I live, undisclosed living locations. But here it's been pretty crappy. I mean, it's when you guys were here for college, you kind of know that spring can be a little
Yeah,
wet
it's
around here. So
Not the best, yeah.
yeah, it's been chance of sunshine once every 6 months. So it's been kind of it's even today. It's a little dreary. So
Dull and dreary.
Yeah, so those are my crappies. Boom.
Great.
Passing it to, I don't know, whoever wants to catch it.
I'll take her up on that. Let's see. Well, the past week has been filled with late nights, just plans that I had to commit to, and everybody has had different sleep schedules than I do, because I usually like to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, but I have to go to bed at that point, like maybe at 11 or 12. So that really came to a head on Friday, where I overslept to the point that, you're at that point where like I could be late to work if I'm not careful, or I really have to rush it to get to work. And it ended up working out okay. I got there at the same time. You should see the marathon I took in the morning. Just, okay, I got to go here. I got to get like my deodorant on. Okay, good. And I looked
very important.
Fantastic. Yeah. You need your deodorant, or you can put your sweater on, and just cover it up in summer. Yeah.
Summer.
I mean, it's getting there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I overslept horribly. But everything worked out in the end, where I needed to go that day.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's amazing what that kind of, I mean, I've been there when you like wake up and look at the clock and you like jump out like a ninja, just like you're on your feet immediately. It's going.
Calling sick, maybe.
That's what I thought you were going to say. You were like, you can either be late to work, and then I thought you were going to say, or you could just call in sick. And then you're like, or I could just, be even more late to work. I've been like, sorry, I'm not.
Just lie in bed being like, I'm going to be later than I thought. I'm going to be late. You can't be late twice.
Yeah. I mean, as a swim coach, I would have been like, everyone, I think we've had a really tough week of practice, so I'm going to be a nice coach and give you the morning off. Yay.
There you go.
Amen.
Just sleeping in. I felt like hopefully not too many of the swimmers watch this podcast, but like, I feel like in winter, I'm sure they appreciated it too. Because as a coach, I appreciate you have to wake up really early. So I feel I appreciate it whenever I get to, sleep in, and I'm sure they do too. But if there was like a hint of snow in February, I was like, all right, well, nope, I guess we can't do today. I live too far away for that. So
nice.
But I think for everybody, I mean, for them too, it's really important to have like a mental health days. And
absolutely.
I think it really helped them as well. But
I think everyone needs that. Everybody does,
Yeah. I even think that, like, I mean, obviously the schools want to do it too. I mean, all the schools are virtual, and yet some of them are still like, nope, snow days. We have to have snow days. We as teachers can't take a full 5 days in the winter time of teaching. So let's make sure we have them snow days.
Mm-hmm.
But some may just say, like, let's just keep a virtual remote day while we are stuck at home.
Yeah, I'll say that's what they did with us this year, is when we were virtual, a lot of the schools, instead of doing a snow day, they just did everything virtual.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
more,
sorry.
More days aren't added in June. I suppose that's a plus.
Oh, I guess that's true. I didn't think about that, but yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm glad you were on time, Joe, and I'm glad you looked amazing while doing it.
I looked amazing in the womb. I looked amazing in the bed. I looked amazing. Just I never get.
He looks amazing right now.
Did you say in the womb?
In the womb.
WOMB.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, I think
and
you did.
I'm gonna look amazing in the tomb.
Oh.
From womb to tomb, baby.
From womb to tomb.
That's what we mean by that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
before this takes forever, Josh.
Yeah. My crappy. I had a long week this week. I worked. Normally, I don't work every day, but because of a shift in my employment, instead of being salaried, I'm now hourly. So I can't exceed more than 40 hours during my work week, which is kind of annoying, because what I would do is I'll take 1 week where I like work not as much, and then the week after I just kind of grind, and I kind of just go back and forth, and it's nice to do that because I get to be home and then whatever. But now I can't do that anymore. So I have to work 40 hours every week. And so this week was like the first week of that. And so I had to work a lot.
Oh, man.
Monday to Friday, which is fine, but
it's the standard, but it is It does suck. I will say that.
Because normally I would just do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the next week I would work Monday through Friday and then Sunday. But yeah, so it was just kind of a hard week in that.
Yeah, that's I mean, I feel like that was a lot like my life as a swim coach too. Be like, oh, I have to work like a 12-hour day because we have like 3 practices, and then it's like, well, and then actually I guess for me it's more like I do that for 6 months and then like so then later, so in the other 6 months I like maybe work a little bit less each day, because it's like I worked like 50 to 60 hours during the season. I gotta balance that out. So a little different, I guess, actually, now that I think about it. Man, that was a long season.
Yeah, but it was like one of those things, like when I first got the job, they were like, yeah, like you're gonna be working a lot some weeks, and then sometimes you're not, like during the summer, like you can pretty much take off whatever. It's like now I can't do that anymore. So I can't, because everything is based on me coming to work. So like even now, like during the summers, I have to like prep meetings and prep events and stuff now, because I have to make sure that I'm getting paid still. So that's kind of annoying.
It's time for the news.
So this is a continuation of what we had talked about with China a few weeks ago. So the Secretary of State about a week ago on 60 Minutes, Abraham Lincoln, Antony Blinken, last week, he expressed a lot of optimism with going to China, because he said last time they were talking to China, their goal is to be the dominant power. Do you guys agree that China's goal is to be the dominant power in the world?
I mean, who doesn't want that?
I mean, that's the one thing that I'm like, what is up with all this like race to the top deal? I mean, I get it, like, but at the same time, it's like, we must be the best. The best at what? Everything. We have everything. We have to beat them. It's the population of gophers and everything like that. We have to be the best.
And yeah, it's like, what's the problem with number 2? I hear number 2 gives you a lot of relief. It's very satisfying.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's silver. It's silver.
It's like, number 2.
Well, good number 2.
It's a good old-fashioned number 2. Thank you, Joe, for clarifying that sound effect.
You need like like added in post, just like a like it's like a gross like.
I'll do that.
Oh, just marking our territory here. Just call back to the beginning.
Yes.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh, see, I watch your show. I do.
So
yeah, I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
I guess it's just, but I don't know, just like so much emphasis on like needing to be the best, and why? Just because we want to. I don't know. Like you'll find that I'm not a super political, news-oriented guy, so my commentary might not even make any sense. Like half the time.
No, that's all right. Like I think more people should look at the news. It's hasn't been since like the pandemic when I started watching more of the news a little bit more. Trying not to, because you kind of get addicted. Yeah. I like to look at as many sides as possible. Hopefully not biased.
Recently, I haven't watched it in a while, and then. So I like to read articles, and they say you should never do that because they're all hot takes and whatever. But I actually watched like a news thing on YouTube, and I was like so disgusted by how they were talking. You know, just the style of like reporting. I forget what it's called, but
right.
I don't know. It's just, I guess because I've been so I like forgot about it, and then like hearing it again is just like just sounds gross to me.
Yeah.
Like today, they found like I can't do it, but
just,
like
nope, off.
As soon as I heard it,
like they get the word out today. Nope, just can't do it.
In a sense, I kind of have that voice too, so maybe people are turning us off.
No.
Okay.
No, we're
well, because people get trained to talk like that. Like it's a whole way, like a format of speaking. So like people,
that's fair.
And I don't know why you do that. Like, it's not interesting. It doesn't like bring me in, and it just makes me cringe when someone's like, "Today, a viral video sensation." It's just like, stop.
Oh my goodness, just stop bringing me in with your words.
Stop doing your rhetoric. But anyway, back to China. Like that race to the top and race to number 1 or number 2. we do know that, at least like to Blinken's words, he did admit that over time, probably by 2028, I think the person who was interviewing her, I think Nora O'Donnell's her name, she said by 2028, not too long from now, China's GDP, gross domestic product, will be surpassing the United States. And then Anthony Blinken just retorted with, well, because they have a large population, that's probably why. Which, fair enough. But he says they'll, in my opinion, I think they'll only be wealthier than us, or more successful than us, I should say, is because if they treat their people well.
The thing that I feel about stuff like that is, with like the GDP, like it doesn't matter that much. I mean, I guess it all depends on like what they're using the money on. You know what I mean?
Right.
I feel like that's important. Like, are you investing in your military? Are you investing in your people? Like what are you doing with that?
Yeah, they just released 3 new warships, which just makes me think that military, that's their priority, and economically speaking too. I mean, we rely on them, right?
We rely on each other.
Yes.
Yeah, this whole like rates is like, I don't know. Just for me, once again, it's like, okay, they're going to surpass us in GDP, and it's like, okay, like, should we really be worried about that? I mean, it's like, okay, they make a little bit more money than us. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean it's like, oh no, all of a sudden we're not number one. Our lives are instantly going to be completely different. And like,
nothing will change.
Yeah.
There's like 200 other countries in the world. I mean, which I'm not going to, a lot of the ones like, remain unchanged, like regardless, as like where the power,
as
like the economic power is shifting and everything like that. And I mean, I don't know. And you're right. I mean, like, where are they putting that money? Where are we putting that money? I guess that's the other thing. It's like all these power, like, isn't there like other things too that we could do other than military? I mean, isn't there other things that need a lot, like more money than buying a fancy new battleship?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like revamping education.
Infrastructure.
Hint. Infrastructure.
Those roads where we're going, we don't need roads.
Guys, I mean, where I'm at right now, and where we all used to live, roads need some help. Roads need some serious help here. Send all of that money here to undisclosed location, so that I don't lose my car in the pothole again.
Nice.
That sounded expensive.
Literally every day on the way to work. But yeah, circling back, I'm taking us off topic so much.
Oh no, I don't care.
That's good.
Yes. Joe, back to you. Got some more commentary for us.
Yeah. Well, one thing that really like grinds my gears and hasn't really been talked too much. You know what really grinds my gears? Blinken said he spoke to the Chinese about this supposed genocide of Uyghur Muslims. But the reason Beijing, like their justification for doing this, because they openly admitted to it, is as, oh, these Uyghur Muslims are a terrorism threat. But in my opinion, rounding up 1 million people in these internment, re-education, concentration camps, what have you, are all those 1 million people, more than 1 million people, are they really all a terrorism threat?
No.
Yeah. Nope.
I don't think so. And so I guess we know where the money's going then, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
In building camps to, move these people.
And obviously President Biden and Blinken, they called them out on this, but what are they doing?
Just anytime something's labeled as a re-education camp, that's never anything good.
That's
like never.
Yeah.
No, like, I don't know. It's yes, they say it's like, oh, to protect people and everything like that. But I mean, this is never like the answer. Like answering evil with more evil, or
it's fear.
Violence with more violence, fear with more fear. Like literally, like it's not the right way to go about it. I mean, first of all of those people in that camp, all of those people that they're, persecuting. I mean, they're all people, all with human rights. And this just is not the way to do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, this is them also trying to, even if there is this small bit of like this, maybe this very small bit of them trying to be protective of, people with like from a terrorist threat or anything, it really is just to exert control. in more ways.
Mhm.
Like it's just more control over, they want everyone to be the same. They want everyone to do the same things. They want all of them to be under their thumb, essentially. And that's just not the way to go about, like, I don't know, serving and helping and ruling people. I don't know. It just is, it's very sad. It makes my heart sad to see things like this happen. That people can treat other people like this.
Yeah.
It just hurts me.
Yeah, it's no bueno. Really, it's not good.
I think we're becoming, at least the American people are becoming more aware of this issue. And even people in power, Democrats and Republicans, which I like, they seem to be having some common cause of unity against this issue. Problem is, hopefully they're doing something about it. I mean, the only thing I know is that they're just calling it out verbally at this point in time. We've known about it for, I mean, maybe not necessarily public knowledge, but it's been around for like 3-4 years at this point in time where this has been going on, because they round them up in these trains and put them in these re-education camps. And I saw this one YouTube video of this woman who got out and is in America now. She was raped by multiple men in these camps.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is one of those things where, like, you hear about this stuff growing up, you hear about the atrocities of World War II and all the stuff that Mao did and like all the stuff that Castro did and all this stuff. But like, we're living in this reality now.
Yeah.
And for this to be happening still today is just so appalling. Like, we've been through this before. And so, like, who in the right mind can think that this is still like an okay thing to do?
Yeah. What do you think should we do as a country?
That's a really complicated question.
Yeah, that's tough. It's tough to say because, I think oftentimes, especially within our culture and just within our country, like oftentimes we tend to overreach our bound, like our you know what I mean? We tend to like get involved with things that maybe we shouldn't get involved with. So there tends to be this like idea of foreign policy in America, especially today. It says like, well, maybe we should just focus on our own country and make sure that we're doing what we need to do. But I feel like in a case of like severe human rights violations, like we should do something.
I think we should.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I mean, I particularly think that we should do something in conjunction with other countries, other nations, like the United Nations stuff. Like, I don't think it's necessarily solely on our shoulders to do something. It's on the shoulders of humanity to do something. So I think sometimes we, as Josh kind of said, we kind of like fall into that pattern of like, we are the world's police, which we shouldn't need to be, or like I think it's problematic when we do that, like when we do too much. Like, I don't think that's always necessarily a good thing, but I think if we work together with other nations to do something, like, then I think that's kind of like the best situation.
Yeah, totally agree.
It's interesting, Josh, that you brought up Mao and also the Germans' concentration camps. Then it made me think a few hours ago when writing a couple notes for this, did people know about the concentration camps in the 30s? And like people in America. And what I found out is that some people followed it more closely than others. And also in the late 30s, people denied entry of some refugees from Hitler's regime. But also we didn't know much about the term genocide because it was kind of a new term. And people couldn't really, wrap their heads around it. It was kind of complicated. It's complicated. It was complicated back during that time because we didn't really know exactly or could fathom it. But genocide is used as a term so many times today. Hitler is being cited probably every day on mainstream news. What's going on now?
Yeah, crazy.
I mean, yeah, and I mean it also goes. I mean, there's no country that is innocent, of wrongdoing or not, doing something that's, not good. I mean, we as a country ourselves, we're not perfect. We've obviously we're finding out more these days. I mean, we have our own issues we need to work out as well.
Exactly.
And so that makes it hard, especially when you wish that, like,
are we hypocrites?
Yeah, exactly.
For calling this out. China called us out like for hypocrites, but what are we hypocritical about? What do we have to look at the splinter in our eye?
But it's just tough for us as citizens because we're like good people, like I've never sent someone to a camp before. So like, it's hard for me to say like, I want someone to do something, but then we have the stains of our own country that we have to deal with. And like, it's so hard to kind of have that mindset or it's like, oh, or our hands are dirty too, even though who
Mhm.
could,
Yeah.
you like us 3 years are good men, I would say, who would never do something like this, but still we have to deal with these, these issues. And yeah. Ugh.
Yeah. I just like stand up here and I feel like a dad sometimes. I'm just like, why can't everyone just get along? Why can't everyone just love each other? Why do we have to have issues with one another?
Just clean up your room. Just clean up your
Clean up your room.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Josh brings up a good point. I mean, like there's not much that we personally can do as three individuals, like just sitting here about this issue. This is a macro issue. We're micro people at the moment. I mean, we're talking about it, so that's one thing. But I mean, like there's definitely a lesson that goes for each individual person, like as a citizen, as a human being. It's like you see this stuff on television and these things that are like appalling. Don't do that in your everyday life. Like the small things, go help your neighbor, love the people around you, be a good example, be a good citizen, treat everyone like a human being in your life. And the hope is that if enough like little people do that, it'll turn into a big movement and all that stuff. And it all starts with just you loving your neighbor.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all communities, right? And people that we've kind of lost that concept, right? And I think that's such a problem with social media today, is the fact that everyone has these desires and everyone's seeing all these things and desires to do something. And then they kind of fulfill that by just posting something.
Yeah, by just saying one thing and they did their job.
Yeah, and then this virtual reality that doesn't exist in the real world, you know what I mean? And what they really need to do is they take that emotion, take that desire, and then show it to their fellow man, like they're on their neighborhood, like on their block, in their communities. Like that's how
Amen.
It's nothing. It doesn't matter what you say online. Like what matters is your true, like real life existence, like your physical reality, And I feel like it gets so lost today.
In other words, it's just projection. If you just put it on the screen, but you don't actually live your principle.
Yeah, it's exactly. Like making yourself a brand, but it's easy to fake something online. It's easy just to say something. You got to live it. You got to do it. It's better that you go out and do it anonymously and like have no social media ever than to like tout yourself on social media and say you believe in all these things, but then never do anything about it.
Do nothing in reality.
Yeah.
One last question that I put up that I would probably want to leave it with. Both sides are currently prepping for war, I believe, in the US and China over Taiwan. That's like the new hot contentious issue. If it becomes necessary, the US or China might take action. Both have nuclear weapons, of course, as we know, but China said it will never strike first. Those are their words. But it will strike next if the US does first. How great is the risk of war, you guys think?
I don't know. I don't think that our country would want to risk that right now.
Yeah.
And Biden doesn't strike me as someone who would want to do that. Want to move forward. I mean, he's been open about these atrocities, but I think, putting people there and starting a war or battles, and like I don't really see that happening.
I mean, out of all the things that are happening in the world right now, like this should we really be focusing on, should we really be like, the whole world is facing a challenge right now. We really shouldn't be divided. We should be united. And I'm never one, I like violence and war. Like I'm never like a proponent of that unless it is absolutely necessary. Just once again, we're all people, like, and we can all figure this out somehow. Once again, but yeah, I hope it doesn't. That's what I'm saying. I hope it doesn't.
Absolutely. I feel like this is one of those things where, we're talking about like, well, what's the difference between number one and number two? Or like, why does that matter? This is a good example, because I feel like in a lot of those areas, we are number one.
Yeah.
And I think so these problems are because of that. Like if we were like on the bottom of the list of countries, like we wouldn't be worried about these things that are happening. We wouldn't care about this stuff. We wouldn't have these discussions. The world wouldn't be turning to us, And like oftentimes that's what happens. Like whenever there's a problem somewhere else, people want to know how we feel about it and like what are we going to do, And so there is that reality too.
And has us like touting that number one position or like, trying so hard to maintain it and all that. Has that, presented a chat? Like, has that spurred on some places like China of like, maybe we've made too much of a thing about this being number one idea. And that's like proposing a challenge. And now here we are. Like, I don't know, maybe not. I mean, but again, I think this global ranking system is a little overblown.
Yeah. Just wish that all the power hungry people would see that too.
Whenever
Yeah.
money's involved, Josh, I think that's when the pride and ego comes in.
Oh yeah. Well, what's that? Money's the root of all evil, right?
Yeah, and pride is the sin of humanity.
Pride's the sin of humanity, exactly.
Okay.
All right, well, that's a good way to just close that one. A
Everyone
nice, ominous
sucks.
note.
The end.
We are all the problem.
It's all your fault.
You, that person that Josh is pointing at, watching this
Feel
right
bad.
now.
Feel bad. Subscribe to
Do
us.
something about it.
Oh, by the way, you should subscribe to us.
This is the perfect opportunity.
This is the best chance.
Do better, and that means subscribe.
Subscribe
Yeah.
right now.
Do something. Subscribe. Make us bigger, and then leave a comment so we can actually like fill out our slogan. Make that.
Yeah. Just answer them questions. Follow these people. Create multiple accounts. Follow it multiple times. Blow up those numbers.
Use the coding power to create bots and just.
Yes. Help that algorithm. Let's do it.
All right.
The future is inevitable, but let's travel back in time.
This is what, May 12th, right?
May 12th.
In 1967, Are You Experienced?
Ooh.
The album by Jimi Hendrix, right? It was his first release. And obviously this was one of the most like influential, like most popular at the time, like one of the greatest like blues, rocky albums. And I think ever, personally. And I think some people would agree with me there. But Jimi Hendrix being
Wholeheartedly.
the legend, right? He like changed guitar, like the way that he played it, the way that it was perceived, his popularity, his talent, his ability, his understanding of effects and electronics and all this stuff changed.
Yeah, and he was only on mainstream for about 3.5 years.
Yeah, really not that long if you think about it. Yeah.
That's such a big impact nonetheless.
Yeah.
Man.
Definitely. I mean, you can attribute a lot of stuff to him nowadays.
Yeah.
Mm.
He was influenced by, of course, the Beatles with fuzz guitar. And backwards instruments too. Particularly, I think if I'm recollecting, "Are You Experienced" has the song, the title track. "Are You Experienced" had backwards guitar. Which, by the way, there were different pressings for the US and UK. Did it say UK or US, Josh?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Could have been at the same time. I have no idea. But the UK version is the bigger album. It has like 9 more tracks.
Yeah, it doesn't specify.
Weird. But I love that album. Only 3 guys in that band. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Those poor other guys who didn't get the name.
He was American. They were British. Take that, Britain.
So that explains 2 out of 3 Brits. That's why they got 9 more tracks. It all makes sense now. It's a majority thing.
Makes sense. Yeah. But have you ever seen him do the Star Spangled Banner before?
Oh, of course.
It's one of the most classic things ever. And I feel like that was. So last week we talked so much about music and culture and how that kind of changed over the years and over the decades. And I think that was a huge moment where like, here's a man who, is fighting against war, who's this kind of public icon, who's an amazing, who understands the cry of the people and does a rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. And, through the effects and his abilities, he's able to make it sound like there's airplanes flying by in like the middle of it,
and crying children,
and like bombs dropping and exploding, and it's crazy stuff. So if you have never seen it, pause this video and click up Jimi Hendrix Star Spangled Banner live. It's incredible.
In the addition of it being a political statement, it was also quite beautiful. I mean, it wasn't preachy, but it was quite beautiful. Yeah, because it was so different. Like today, like the woke culture is so on the nose with everything, and it wasn't quite like that. Back in the 60s, like people spoke out against violence and evil in a different way, and it wasn't so on the nose like it is today. Sure.
So that's mine. Are You Experienced was dropped.
All right. Nice.
Joe?
I saw that one on the list, and I'm like, Josh is gonna drop that one, so I'm gonna.
All right.
I'm the least experienced with music here, so I'm like, that's not me.
May 12th, 1941, the world's first automatic programmable computer is presented.
The Z3, right?
Yeah, the Z3. It was designed by
Just doing the research.
You
knew
the Z3.
Yeah.
The Zack 3. It was me all along.
Oh man. The guy Conrad
Oh,
Susan.
wait. 1941.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Yes, it was.
All right,
What was that now? Like 70 years ago? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
70 years ago this year.
What
Or
do you
well,
know?
I guess the
80,
today of
right?
when this
80,
is-
80 years ago.
We
Am I
can
doing-
do
oh
we
my
can do
gosh,
math.
I'm doing my math wrong. I'm older than I thought. Darn it, I am not 18.
We need to put that like Zach Galifianakis meme with all the numbers that are funny.
I got it. I'm gonna
Yes.
do that. I'm gonna do that.
80 years.
Yeah, so Conrad Susan was he said the machine was destroyed like in some air raid.
Yeah.
And a replica actually can be seen in the Deutsches Museum in Munich. So that's our best example of what it looked like.
Mm.
So,
What was
To
it?
think
Oh, go ahead.
we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing right now without that thing, that Z3.
that
As we're-
invention. What was it
That
called?
invention. There's the thing with the number and the letter.
You know the thing.
Yeah.
The whole thing. What was it capable to do? Do we know? Was it like could it do like processing like word stuff, or can it
Just probably math problems and things, I would think, because that's what they originally
just
were
like
meant
the basics, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, just like
Yeah.
a calculator kind of thing.
Yeah, because you guys, I mean, people used to have the job of like computer. You guys ever seen that movie Hidden Figures with
No.
the ladies that worked at NASA?
Oh, it came
my
out a
gosh,
few years ago. Yeah, I've heard
it
of
was just such a good movie. You should watch it. Everyone here that's listening should watch it. It's an amazing movie.
Nice.
But yeah, so their job, they were mathematicians, and their job title was computer, because they were essentially doing complex mathematical calculations as people before like computers became like a mainstream thing. And within the movie, there's like an IBM computer that shows up, and
Right.
that's a big plot point, and that it does like automatic calculations and things like that. But like,
Okay.
yeah, so that was like the main purpose of, I think, computers back in the day. And they always, I mean, I'm sure like your teachers have always touted the fact, it's like, yeah, there used to be a computer that filled this entire room that could do less than your calculator.
Yeah,
It's,
right.
it's like, wow, boo. Have like that 10 kilobyte memory. Oh my. And now like our phones are probably like just 10,000 times more advanced than that computer was.
That's crazy.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
And what do we use it for?
Memes and cat videos.
All the memes.
Always for the memes. All right.
Okay. Did you want to go, Zach? Do you have a timeline for us?
Okay. I have two actually. One,
Nice.
if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So actually, yeah, we'll go with two. Maybe a third one if I'm feeling. All right. So in May 12th, 2012. So keep in mind, this is 2012. A piece of the Mayan calendar was discovered that disproved the 2012 apocalyptic theory.
Whoa, that's crazy. I never heard about this.
In 2012. Like, it's literally like, it's, oh no, the world's gonna end.
Months
And they're
before.
like, oh wait, what's this underneath the coffee table? Oh, wait. Oh, no, never mind. That's we were wrong. Well, good thing we found this just in time. Woo.
That's so funny. And I remember the original the date was December 21st, 2012.
Yep.
And that was my father's 40th birthday.
Oh.
And so he constantly was saying like, this is the day that the world's gonna end and I'm gonna be ruler. Like he kept always joke that he was gonna like,
Because it's my
the
birthday, I
emperor,
will live.
the emperor of the world or something. He's gonna rise up on his 40th birthday.
Oh man. I
Nice.
mean, I remember watching, like, they had movies, but they had
Yeah,
a movie named like
2012.
2012.
Yeah.
I saw that. My grandfather slept through the whole thing. I don't know how he did it, but it was just loud noises and explosions the entire time. But yeah, this whole like, oh, the world's gonna end, everybody, so that pandemonium. I was like a freshman in college, and it's just like, oh, the world's gonna. I'm just like, whatever. Just
I was in school and everyone was saying the end is near. The end is near.
And then apparently, though, everyone
Joking,
was
of
thinking
course.
this all the way up till December. But in May, they found something that disproved the entire thing.
And we
It's like,
didn't
oh,
even know. We didn't even
We
know.
better not tell
Yeah,
it.
yeah, just ignore that.
The media is like, nope, that's not coming out because we're making bank on this whole apocalypse thing.
Yeah, we gotta ride it through. Nice.
Okay, so that was one. So now two. This is a little bit in the realm of sports. Hopefully, maybe some of our listeners get into this. Maybe I'm not sure if you guys, know. But this is in the world of tennis. So in May 12th, 1979, Chrissy Evert, who is a really, really talented American tennis player, she had a winning streak that came to an end. In tennis, there are 3 different surfaces. I'm not sure if anyone. There's grass, there's hard courts, and then there's clay. So clay is like this like red stuff that's just essentially dirt and everything like that. It's like really hard to play on because it's really slow and everything like that. So Chrissy Evert had won 125 matches in a row on clay. Whoa. 125. That is, in every I'm not sure anyone who's played tennis, like winning one match is hard. Like, I'm going to be perfectly honest, but like 125 in a row. So this streak lasted 6 years. She won 24 tournaments. And I think she won some upwards of like 258 sets or something like that. Cause in tennis, you have to win like 2 out of 3 sets to be the victor. And only 1/4 of the time did the other person get like one of the 3 sets. Like, so she won, like she dominated like 120. It's a record that still stands to this day. 125 times. You have to win like 6 or 7 times just to win a tournament. She did not lose once. She was 18 years old when it started. So I guess she was 24. No. Yeah. 24, 25, 26, something like that.
Yeah.
Or was it 8 years? I would have to go back. My notes are on my phone, but I'm zooming on my phone right now, so I can't look at anything. So I apologize to anyone who's like fact checking this, but it's just insane. And after this one loss she had in like a final, she then went on to win 64 more in a row.
Oh, it didn't break her at all.
No, not at all. She's literally one of the best tennis players like in tennis history. It was just insane. It was like mind blowing how, and she was beaten by some 16-year-old. Her name was Tracy Austin, who's also a legendary, very good player from the United States. But yeah, so I thought that it's one of the longest like win streaks in sports history. Was Chrissy Evert on clay courts. So if I had to have some sports entity play for my life, it would be like 24-year-old Chrissy Evert on tennis clay courts.
Nice. That's great. That's great.
Yeah. So that's my one other fact. Oh, and random bonus fact. I don't remember the year. It's on my phone somewhere. But apparently on this day in some year in the 2000s, I think it was like 2006 or something, it was decided by the U.S. government that the hurricane names would no longer only be female. Oh. So they used to only name hurricanes after females. And now on this day in some year that Zack can't fact check because I have to use my phone to Zoom. They decided that there would now be males included in hurricane names. So fun fact.
Very inclusive.
Yes. So that I'm not sure if it was meant to be inclusive towards men or just, these things that wreak destruction and havoc and everything were no longer only bearing the names of females. So.
Well, men do cause destruction, according to many people.
Oh, yes, we do.
oh, yes.
So
heard that a lot.
Well, speaking of destruction, especially to destruction of toilets, it's like with our talk of number 2, May 12th, 1792, a toilet that flushes itself at regular intervals was patented.
Wait, so I actually saw this and I have a question. So this was literally like a toilet that just sat there. And then every like 10 seconds, it's like, oh, time to flush again. Just like
I don't know what country this was. It did not tell me. And I scoured the earth to find it. Don't know.
It just seems random that it's just like, all right, someone sits down, flushes, someone's not there, it flushes.
Just constantly flushing.
It's just constant. It's like, we are ready no matter what happens.
Do you guys prefer manual or automatic flush?
Oh, definitely the manual. I remember when I was a kid, like the automatic stuff scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
I literally like one time I sat down and it like flushed automatically. I like jumped up. I was like, ah, and I felt rushed.
I didn't touch anything.
I felt like I had to finish really quickly. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, I guess it just depends on where it is. Because normally like public restrooms, pretty gross. You don't want to touch those. But
yeah,
true. Good point.
In my own home, like I wouldn't want.
Is that a possibility?
Do you have automatic flushing in your new home, Josh? Do you have automatic flushing?
Is that a new perk?
Along with a bidet?
A bidet? Yeah, there we go.
Automatic bidet. No, that's
automatic bidet. It's every 5 minutes it just squirts.
You seem dirty. Let me help.
It's like motion. It's like emotions. Like
It's a smart home thing. It's like, Alexa, can you clean me off, please?
Please. I hope that's a thing. I really,
the
really do.
government is watching your
Oh no.
your picanha, your rumple.
Your picanha.
Picanha.
Your China's your number 2 China's.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow, that's impressive. I mean, that's important technology right there. Thank you, that person, whoever you are.
Automatic bidet. You heard it here first.
Yes, we think. Well, that's not what we were. Yes,
we were talking about.
Someone get on that.
Yeah.
That's called so a fountain. The automatic bidet is called
just a fountain. Yeah, that's what it is.
We have shows at noon, 3 and 6. Just this. So make sure you have to go then.
Oh boy, good stuff.
Entertainment. Where's the entertainment, guys?
Where's the entertainment, guys? All right, clean comedy.
Woo!
Good stuff, right?
Love me clean comedy.
It's good stuff.
Good clean comedy.
I have to say, I love all kinds of comics, right? I love all kinds of comics, but I really have a special place for clean comics because in my mind, it's like they were smart enough, they were witty enough to create something funny without like, the low scraping from the bottom of the barrel. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're not like trying to save themselves. They're not using like a crutch of like, it takes a lot. I've watched a decent amount of clean comedy recently, and I've realized just how much talent it takes to make that work. Like, and it's more than just the content. Like, I have watched some great clean comics that we probably will talk about here pretty soon. And I've seen some not so great ones that it's so much about the timing and the delivery and the physicality of the comedy. It's just so much that goes into it. But when you do it right, it's hilarious. And really you don't feel dirty afterwards. You're like, wow.
And you can show it to your grandparents.
Exactly. And then not be like, oh my goodness gracious.
Exactly.
Good but
stuff. So what is everyone's favorite clean comic? If you were to like choose,
I would have to say Jim Gaffigan.
Jim Gaffigan.
Oh, Jim Gaffigan's a good shout. I've seen Jim before. Oh, Brian Regan, hands down, all day, all night. Brian Regan is probably my favorite comedian ever.
He's been around a while.
He's been around for a while, yeah.
I just saw his most recent, like 2021, like Netflix special. He is old.
That was my first thought. I was like, he's so gray. Like, what is this?
And he makes fun of that immediately. He's just like, we're going to address the white hair. I don't know what happened either.
I like his segment about, being at Disneyland or Disney World, if you've ever been there, where he talked about, being just cut in line.
Oh,
interrupted. Have you guys ever been cut in line at Disney before or any amusement park?
Probably. I haven't been to Disney in so long, but like, I understand where he's coming from. Those people just like, they just want to get every little bit that they can. It's like, I don't like ride 10 seconds before you.
I don't like those lines. I get why people do it, but at the same time, you're all there for one specific purpose.
I have never been to Disney. Fun fact. So I need to go at some point in my life.
You probably do. I will say it's a great experience. It's a little bit stressful for a vacation, in my personal opinion, but
you gotta go. You gotta go when the holidays are happening that everybody else is gone. Maybe Thanksgiving.
Joe,
have gone.
Literally when everyone else is on vacation and everyone else is going to go to Disney
for like 4 days.
There.
4 days isn't enough.
They have parades for literally like every holiday at Disney.
Well, I can speak to this. I went during Thanksgiving. It was fine.
You should just go.
Actually, I did have an easy pass on those rides, so I was able to make fun of people who were in the line. So don't take my word for it.
Yeah. So I haven't done a lot of theme parks. I'm not a big roller coaster guy, to be completely honest. They make me so sick. So
same.
I can't even do it. Yeah. When I go, I just eat food and then watch other people have fun. So I don't really enjoy them,
It's the attractions and the shows, man. That's where it's at.
Yeah. I've never been to Disney, so I'll have to experience it one day. It's the goal. Anyways, so
your favorite.
I've been this new guy I really love. His name's Nate Burgett. Have you ever heard of him before, Zach?
I have. I heard of him from you actually on this podcast.
Oh yeah, I
Mhm.
talked
Yeah,
about
you
him
mentioned
before.
him way back when. Yeah.
Yeah. He is great. He's so great. His like he's one of those people. He's not very physical. He's very kind of deadpan. He's one of those that kind of deadpan comics. But his storytelling and the way he delivers is like so hilarious to me. So between him and like Brian Regan, I've been really enjoying their stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that's good because you're I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head that like Brian Regan is like the very opposite of that. He's just so insane. He's all over the stage. He is making weird noises and weird faces. And so if you ever listen to anybody listening right now, if you've ever listened to Brian Regan, first of all, he is hilarious when you just listen to him. The first time I ever experienced, I was just listening. But when you see him, it's a completely different, different experience. Yeah.
Definitely. And I feel like that's a big part of it too. Like I think of someone like Sebastian Maniscalco. Now he's not necessarily a clean comic, but his physicality is what does it. You know, his moving around and he's like spazzing on stage is what does it for a lot of people. You know.
And another guy in that same vein that's like mostly clean is like Kevin James. Like Kevin James is like the king of physical comedy.
And have you guys seen his? That's on Netflix. He's got one on Netflix too.
Yeah, I didn't know he had one.
Good one.
Yeah, so funny. This thing with the moving sidewalks and the Cinnabon just kills me every single time.
Yeah, that's a good one.
They put the Cinnabon in the middle of the moving sidewalk. Everyone who's going to be on that, I think is going to, and then he's just like doing the thing where he's trying to climb over the moving railing.
Yeah. It's really
I don't
funny.
do it justice. We're not comedians here, people. We're sorry. We're not going to do any of these guys justice. Go watch them, please.
Yeah. I love when he said like, when you sneeze into the light and you can see like the little pixie dust. And he like makes his face. He's just like, it's so funny.
I love that. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So another guy that's kind of older. I mean, I don't actually remember if he's 100% clean, but was one of our other Josh friends back at Marywood. You guys both know who I'm talking about. So he introduced me to the late comedian John Panette. Have you guys ever seen John Panette?
No.
He's kind of in a similar vein as like Kevin James. Like his whole trope is that he's a not so in shape guy. But if you have not, you've got to watch him. He's very loud. That's the other thing too. He's like super loud all the time. But he has this one skit about going to eat Italian food in Italy. It is, I was on the floor. I couldn't breathe. Like just of how, cause he's this guy that loves food. And it's just how in Italy, they like just keep feeding you and feeding you and feeding you and feeding you and feeding you. And just that from, once again, I'm sorry, everyone listening, I'm not doing it justice. I also don't want to spoil it because if you hear it from me, then it's probably not going to be as funny when you listen to it. So go listen to it. Go listen to John Panette. He's a great guy. If you love food and you overestimate how much you love food, then you should go listen to the skit by John Panette. Anybody who's ever been to an Italian wedding before, and I maybe wasn't 100% Italian, but I have been to a wedding where I literally thought I was going to explode from, I thought I liked food, but not enough apparently.
Right. Nice.
You're gonna need that. You're gonna need that automatic bidet after you explode. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So
automatic bidet.
Yeah. So yeah, clean comedy. Do you guys like do you guys have any like special connections or like stories of like, you know, comedians that really like connected with you like at a particular time and or anything like that, or how you like got into them? I don't know. I'm thinking of something for me personally, and I'm just trying to segue into it.
I think like the first real comic that I loved watching, who's not clean, but was Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
I remember just as a kid, like watching his stand-up when, you know, back in like the 90s or whenever he was doing stand-up, and just loving it and laughing really hard at his stuff.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Talking about physical comedy, that man.
Exactly.
Oh boy. If Brian Regan's like a 10, like that guy's like a 50.
Yeah.
Mine would probably have to be like where I really was exposed to comedy and really appreciated it. I don't know if he's particularly clean. I'm not entirely sure. Just the segments I've seen are more clean, but his comedic delivery is perfect. Rodney Dangerfield.
Yes.
He's with the king
Rodney.
of one-liners.
I would say that, yeah, I would have to say that for the most part, he's clean, right? I mean, maybe, how is
I
he,
can't
Josh?
remember the number.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
he's
not really?
Not really clean.
Maybe
yeah.
I don't know enough, but
He
I
doesn't
would
really. He doesn't. Yeah.
he doesn't swear, right? Does he?
Sometimes he does.
Sometimes he does?
Like all of it, he like talks about sex a lot. So like that's
Oh
kind of his,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
which
Should have
is,
known.
you know,
Yeah,
really good
that's a
for
good
kids,
point.
but-
That's a good point. But I do appreciate that he paved the way for a lot of other comics and gave them an opportunity at his clubs to actually show their stuff. Like you have your Sam Kinison, who really just utilized, I mean, he was pretty vulgar as well, and he utilized that awful scream.
Yeah.
Thank you for muting your volume on that one.
Yeah, I go back.
Yeah, just cover it up. Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, I'm going to circle back. I'm sure everyone's going to be sick of me saying this, but we're circling back to Brian Regan again. Because, so if you're not already annoyed by me saying his name, go watch him. So like my first connection, like I'll always remember like when I first, got into Brian Regan, it was like a very kind of special moment for me. So I was part of this, service trip camp thing. It's called Catholic Artwork Camp. If anyone's interested, you should totally check it out. It's awesome.
Mhm.
So essentially you go there with your parish and you kind of like get mixed up into different teams. Like you get mixed up with other kids, like you get put in groups so that you're not like working only with the people, so you like get to meet new people. And you get sent off to work sites to, help people in need in the area that you were at. And so I was put in this group with a bunch of people I didn't know, my own age. So like teenagers, my own age. And then we had like a leader who was like one of the adults from one of the parishes and things like that. So it was like maybe like a 15-20 minute drive to our work site every single day. And what this guy did every single day on our way to the work site, he had a CD of Brian Regan's like Stupid in School, like the baseball skits, like all that like stuff, that skit on a CD. And we listened to it literally every single day on the way down and the way back. And we were just like, first of all, I understand now why he played it. It's like a bunch of kids at a Catholic camp. I think a clean comedian will go over nicely. And it just was so funny. We were all just like bawling and laughing hysterically. Like, oh, it just made like the work day. It just like was something we look forward to every day. And it made us look forward to the work day. And I just remember it being just the greatest thing. And I'm like remembering, and I had him trying to remember. It's like, okay, this guy's name's Brian Regan. We got to remember this, Brian Regan. But at the very end, on the very last day, once we had finished the whole thing and we had finished our work and everything like that, the guy gave me the CD.
Oh, nice.
He gave it to, like, he's literally like, I could tell you really, really liked this guy. And so it was like a CD that he burned and things like that. So it wasn't like an official, like, Brian Regan. It wasn't an official copy of your work.
Does anyone use CDs anymore?
Well, I mean, Joe, this was like, we're not going to mention how many years ago.
I'm talking now. I'm talking now.
No, I have no idea where it is anymore. I'm sorry. And it's very scratched up wherever it is. But oh my goodness, it just meant so much to me. And then I showed my family. And Josh, I know your, in-law family. I know they really like him.
Yeah, they love him. Yeah.
I'm the one who told your wife about Brian Regan way back when. And I remember that because I'm literally, I mean, I told everyone. I told literally everyone. It's like, have you guys seen Brian Regan? You should check this out. But yeah, it's just like it also really warms my heart anytime everyone's like, I love him now, and I'm like, I know, right? But yeah. So I mean, if any of your family is gonna like just come in and like correct me in the comments and just be like, it wasn't you, blah blah blah. But yeah. So I mean, just. I don't know. That's another reason why. Not just that he's a great comedian, but like it also had a positive impact on my life.
A nice experience, at some point.
Yeah,
definitely. Oh, that's awesome. So Zach, what was your opinion on the newest stand-up that he did? Did you like it?
I think it wasn't his. I did like it. I really did love it. I wasn't his like best work. Well, that original skit that I listened to with like the baseball and the stuff in the school and all that. That will always be like king for me. Yes. Yeah. But there were certain parts of this new one that I did find hilarious, like the OCD stuff.
Yeah.
Now, I'm probably a little OCD myself, just like a little bit. So I related a little bit to some of the things. And it just, I couldn't get past. I just was laughing so hard. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was good. I give it a thumbs up.
That's how I felt too. It was like, it wasn't the best that he's ever done, but it was definitely still funny. Good. Enjoyable. Got some good laughs out of it.
Yeah,
I haven't seen the new Netflix special. but
You should.
I will.
It's called On the Rocks.
On the Rocks. I'll take a look. I'll take a look at it as soon as I can. But what I just love about Brian Regan is that he'll fill, his act with material about most of the time himself. It won't be like laughing at others. It'll be more like at himself and relatable situations. So
yeah, I feel like that's like the sign of a good comedian oftentimes, because especially in the culture that we live in today. I think we mentioned it a little bit. We're kind of seeing this shift where people don't like to laugh at other people, and especially in comedic acts. Like you can't just like point people out anymore, because a lot of people feel they get kind of hurt by stuff.
Yeah.
So I feel like the best people are the ones that can the self-deprecating kind of.
Yeah, and we can kind of relate to that. Like, because when they self-deprecate, we look at ourselves.
Look at ourselves like, oh yeah, like I see that too.
In myself, yeah. Like every comedian's got a shtick, and I love those comedians that like have that like particular shtick of like they make fun of themselves, and they also just kind of make fun of in general how stupid we as humans can be sometimes, or how silly we are. It's like, why do we do this? Versus like I don't know. I don't want to go off on like the other tangents of like dirty topics and or some people the overweight thing, or like it's just I love that, and it's so creative. And as I said, I think people don't give enough credit to clean comedy about how intelligent it is, like, and how much work it requires. So kudos to all of you men and women that we mentioned, or any that we didn't mention, that are on this path of clean comedy. You guys, your work does not go unnoticed.
Yeah, it's really appreciated by a lot of people.
All right. So what we want you guys all who are listening right now to do is subscribe to us on Feeling Grounded Podcast on YouTube, like the video, hit the notification bell, and also take a look at us on our other platforms. Our episodes are now, you can listen to us on Spotify, Audible, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and then for extra content, exclusive content for us, it's going to be on Patreon. So for $3 a month, it helps us put out more content and keep us going. And we would love to have you guys on that platform as well to see more content.
Yeah, we'd really appreciate that. It would really encourage us and let us know that what we're doing is people like it, and keep us desiring to do this, I think. And then also just leave us some comments. Leave us some comments. That's one thing we forgot to say, right? Just ask us some questions, talk about your day, and we'll be in there too, just responding back to you, and like
either for us or for Zach. We'll have him back.
Yeah.
I'll answer questions. Feel free to answer. I'll answer anything. Maybe not, but answer. I'll give you answers. Give me questions. Support these guys, everyone. They're doing awesome. They're doing good things. I love this podcast, and you will too. So, obviously, if you listen this far, hopefully you do love it. Hopefully you didn't just skip to the end. Yeah, show these guys some love. Show them some love. Keep them going, or else, I want to keep listening. So if you don't keep them going, I will hate all of you. Right?
Best kind of advertisement.
Don't get my hate. I'm just kidding. You two are awesome. Thanks for having me. I really loved it. I I hope you guys keep doing this. I hope you guys. Yeah. I hope.
You did a great job.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Hopefully, all the other guests will, either be as good or way better than me. So yeah. But I really appreciate this time. This was a good way to spend a day, not just to be on a podcast, but yeah. Anyway.
Thank you, Zach.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
You've got questions?
You're feeling grounded.